The simple priest who set hearts on fire, the story of St. John Vianney. This reflection is prepared by Father Eub Francis, pastor at St. Jude Church, Grand Rapids, Michigan, USA. St. John Mary Vianney, affectionately known as the Cure of Ars, is a shining example of humble priesthood wholly devoted to God, born on May 8, 1786. In the rural village of Dardilly, France, he was raised in a devout Catholic farming family during the turbulence of the French Revolution. His parents, Matthew and Marie Vianney, were simple yet deeply pious people who taught their children to love God above all. From his early childhood, John displayed a tender heart, deep compassion, and an unusual attraction to prayer and sacrifice, despite growing up amid social unrest and persecution of the Church. Young John idolized the underground priests who risked their lives to celebrate Mass. These holy men stirred his own desire to become a priest, yet John's path was anything but easy. Entering the minor seminary much later than most, he found intellectual studies, especially Latin, extremely difficult. The rector and staff often doubted whether a boy of such limited academic ability could ever manage the theological rigors necessary for ordination. Some even suggested dismissing him from the seminary entirely. When the seminary rector complained to the bishop, the wise prelate famously replied, "Is he pious? Has he devotion and love for the people of God? I will ordain him. God will do the rest," trusting more in John's holiness than in his intellect. The bishop ordained him a priest on August 13, 1815. Father Vianney was soon assigned to the tiny, obscure village of Ars, a place where religious practice had nearly died out. Undaunted, he fasted, prayed, and worked tirelessly to bring his people back to faith, preaching simple, moving homilies, visiting the sick, helping the poor, and gently guiding souls back to the Lord. His greatest ministry was in the confessional, where he spent 12 to 18 hours daily listening to confessions. People flocked from across France and beyond, waiting hours or even days just to confess their sins to him. His gift of reading souls, his gentle kindness, and his passionate love for sinners drew more than 120,000 pilgrims a year to the parish of Ars. Through him, countless people rediscovered faith, hope, and the joy of living in God's grace. In his poverty and self-sacrifice, Father Vianney famously lived on almost nothing. His bed was a rough wooden board. He wore worn-out cassocks patched repeatedly, and he gave everything he had to the poor. What amazed everyone most was not his intellect, but his burning love for God and souls. By the end of his life, this silent, humble parish priest had become a spark of spiritual renewal for the entire church in France. Father Vianney died peacefully on August 4, 1859. His body, miraculously incorrupt, can still be seen today in Ars. He was canonized by Pope Pius XI in 1925 and in 1929. The Holy Father declared him the patron saint of diocesan priests, an astonishing honor for a man who was considered unqualified by human standards, yet proved that holiness is what truly counts in God's eyes. Lessons from the life of St. John Vianney. God chooses the humble and the weak to accomplish his greatest works. Holiness consists more in love, sacrifice, and perseverance than in intelligence or talent. The priest is called above all to be a shepherd of souls, bringing people back to God, especially through the sacrament of reconciliation. Faithful prayer, penance, and simplicity give power to one's ministry. True success in life is measured by our faithfulness to God's will, not by worldly applause. Question for meditation: do I sometimes limit what God can do through me because of my weaknesses, instead of trusting, like St. John Vianney, that God will do the rest if I simply give him my heart?